Hi, and welcome to Module 3 of 17 in my foundation course for property investors. In this module, we're going to look at the potential return from your investment, the blueprints which examine each financial aspect and allow you to enter your own variables and test out the aspect, look at the question as to whether it's better to buy with cash or with a loan, and look at whether you should invest for income, capital gains, or both. So let's move on and look at the potential return from your investment. We're opening up with a mixed portfolio of high gain, low yield properties and high yield, low gain properties. So there will be at least two or more properties involved in this portfolio, and probably in different locations. The assumptions are that the portfolio is valued currently at £1 million with vacant possession, so it consists of either 10 properties at £100,000 each on average, or at £50,000 there would be 20 properties, and at £200,000 there would be 5. The gross yield across the portfolio is 8%, which is achievable today, 2012. And the interest rate across the portfolio is 5%, which again is achievable today. And the portfolio is owned by a couple. They may be lifetime partners, a married couple, business partners, but it's owned by two people. To start off with, the rent roll is set at £80,000, being 8% of £1 million. And the loan to value, the LTV or loan to value, is 65% in one example and 75% in the second. Pre-credit crunch, I would have set these LTVs at 75% and 85%. 65% is a safe LTV to work with, 75% is still safe, and it is the maximum commonly available today. The result of the 65% loan to value is that the taxable profit is £26,000, and at 75% it reduces to £21,000 because there is more interest to pay, because you have borrowed more money. The difference between the £80,000 rent roll and the taxable profit of £26,000 is taken up by the interest, which is the biggest charge against the portfolio, plus letting and management fees, 12%, 10% plus VAT, plus insurance, plus repairs and maintenance, and I've factored in a couple of weeks of void. And as I said, the difference between 26 and 21 is because of the increased interest charges. I've set the tax rate at 40% for the couple, and the result is that the tax on the £26,000 income is £10,400, and the tax on £21,000 is £8,400. This gives us a net of tax position of £15,500 at 65% loan to value, and £12,500 at 75% loan to value. Now, it is assumed that each year after the first year, from the second year onwards, this couple will sell one of their properties to take advantage of the capital gain exemption currently at £10,600 per person. So a property is bought with the intention of selling it a year or two later, having let it first. And this will generate £21,200 worth of gain, which is tax exempt each year. As I said at the beginning, all these properties are furnished, and therefore you are entitled to deduct a 10% depreciation allowance based on the rent. And 10% of £80,000 is £8,000. Now, you will not be using this money to refurnish the properties, and I'll show you how you do this later on in the foundation course. So this £8,000 becomes effectively income. You will be able to spend this money. So this gives us a total income at 65% of £44,700 and £41,700 at 75%. These figures are arrived at by taking the net of tax position of 15.5 and 12.5, adding to those figures 21.2, the tax-exempt gain, and adding the depreciation allowance. To work out the effective tax rate of 19% and 17%, which are low as you can see, you need to add to the total income the tax paid. So £44,700 becomes, with £10,400 added, becomes £55,000. And £41,700 plus £8,400 becomes £50,000. This is the gross figure. This is the gross income from which tax is deducted. £10,400 is 19% of £55,000, and £8,400 is 17% of £50,000. And this is what makes buy-to-let so exciting. There is a relatively low tax rate applying to the whole income that can be generated each year. Now, by the time we have finished looking at the financial dynamics of buy-to-let, we will come back to this slide when the effective tax rate will be reduced to zero in both cases, 65 and 75% LTV, and the total income will increase from £44,700 at 65% loan to value to £55,000, and this is your total cash in the bank, no tax to pay. And in the case of 75% loan to value, it will increase from £41,700 to £50,000. But we are a few modules away from seeing how we achieve that as a strategy. In the meantime, I'd like to show you the blueprint that you can play with in respect of this potential return on your investment. And this blueprint can be downloaded from propertyinvestoronline.com. On the left hand side we have the variables, and these are all variables that you can play with. You can enter your own variables here and see the results across the rent roll, across the variable costs, across the portfolio statistics, and across the gain projections. And there are three different loans to value. In this particular example, I've set the loans to value at 70, 75 and 80%, but you can set the loans to value where you wish to, at the starting here and at the variation. So the start loan to value 70% and the variation I've set at 5%. So you can put your own variables into these columns here and the results will display across this blueprint. And these blueprints are a unique feature of the foundation course. Whenever you see a slide that has this logo in the top right hand corner, there is a blueprint attached to that slide. I will just return to the main slide to show you the blueprint logo, and here it is up in the corner. So whenever you see a slide with this logo in the corner, there is one of these blueprints where you can demonstrate for yourself what is being discussed, or what I'm discussing inside the particular financial dynamic. These blueprints allow you to test out each individual financial dynamic and see how it works. Okay, that brings me to the end of the first video in this module. I thank you for watching and listening, and look forward to seeing you in the second video. Thank you.